Last episode we discussed how Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight, took over the world from the dragons and committed the first sin, tying humanity to the first flame and extending it far past its natural life. The first game we grew stronger, and the chosen undead was allowed to agree with Gwyn and sacrifice themselves to the fire and carry his Age of Light on longer, or walk away, leaving the flame to die out. Welcome to the Game Lore Archives, where it's time to discuss Dark Souls 2, where the introduction tells us again about the Undead curse, meaning whichever ending you chose hasn't fixed the curse. The cycle of light and dark is still going on, untold years later. However, with a slight difference, people are starting to become aware of the curse and how it works, with records from untold histories long being turned to dust. The chosen undead of the first game defeated Manus, scattering Shards of Abyss across the world. These shards reformed into four sisters, Nashandra, Elana, Nadalia, and Alsanna, each looking human but with an instinct to seek power and strength above all else, and to achieve this, most were drawn to the ruler of the land they were formed in. Elana was drawn to the sunken king of Shulva. The city of Shulva worshipped Sinh the dragon, who consumed the poison of the nearby Black Gulch, keeping them safe. The people worshipped the dragon, building a shrine around him, until a knight named Sir Yorg brought an army in to attempt to kill the dragon. They failed in overpowering him, but managed to stab him through the heart, causing the poison to leak out and spread across the city, killing the king. Elana, horrified of what had happened, sings the dragon back to sleep and tries to save whatever is left of her beloved kingdom. Alsanna married the Ivory king, who ruled over Eliam Lois. Eliam Lois was a huge kingdom built over the ruins of Lost Izalith, where the Witch of Izalith birthed the demon kind so long ago. As they expanded the kingdom, they uncovered a path to Izalith city, and demons began pouring out. The king gave his kingdom to Alsanna, along with a blade that symbolised he knew that she was a Shard of Abyss all along and loved her anyway, before going to fight the demons and losing his life in the process. Nashandra made her way to Drangleic, marrying King Vendrick. Whereas the first game was set in Lordran, land of the gods, the second game takes place in Drangleic, land of the humans. When the curse starts to appear in his kingdom, King Vendrick and his brother Aldir begin to research the curse. Unlike her sisters Elana and Alsanna, she isn't happy with just marrying the king. Her ambitions go further, so she convinces Vendrick that the key to the cure of this curse lay in an item in the land of giants, to which he listened. It's never confirmed in any game, but I believe that the land of giants he travels to is Lordran. Just think of how giant Guinevere is, and I believe the item he stole was the Lord Vessel, which we see broken on the floor of Majula. This could also explain why every cursed hollow is now drawn to Drangleic instead of Lordran. The theft of this item, or Lord Vessel, causes the giants to wage war on Drangleic, causing mass destruction, and eventually the Lord Vessel broke, releasing the 4 souls killed by the chosen undead long ago, being reincarnated into new lords. Gwyn becomes the Old Iron King, the Witch of Izalith becomes the Lost Sinner, and Nito becomes the Rotten, and Seath the Scaleless, who betrayed Dragonkind, would become Duke's dear Fraser. King Vendrick and Aldir build the Throne of Want, a place of power that is somehow connected to the kiln of the First Flame, allowing them to have more control and power. However, he never uses it. Just in time, he realises that Nashandra's motive and lust for power, and to prevent her and keeping the kingdom safe from the abyss, he locks himself away. This all took a toll on his mental health, and the grips of the curse took effect, turning him hollow. One of his loyal knights, Velstadt, agreed to stay behind and defend him. The other, Raime, disagreed with Vendrick's idea, so was deemed a traitor and exiled. Raime travelled until he found the Broom Tower, and the final Dark Sister, Nedalia. Nedalia had travelled to the tower, obsessed with the idea of power, telling herself she was in love with the old Iron King, despite never meeting him. But when she arrived, the king and his kingdom were already dead. There, Raime finds Nedalia and views her as a new mother, and dons the alias of the Fume Knight, swearing to protect this sister of dark. The main character of this game, the bearer of the curse, a similar struggle to the chosen undead. He fights across Drangleic, getting stronger. Nashandra sees this as her chance to get to the throne of want, so encourages him, attacking the bearer of the curse at the last minute to try and steal the throne for herself, but she ultimately fails. The king's brother Aldia is next to oppose him, scared he will continue Gwyn's sins and link the fire, so attacks, but is also beaten. The bearer of the curse takes the throne, giving him the ability to once again choose to link the flames or allow the Age of Darkness to proceed. And again, the choice doesn't matter, as we see by the existence of Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 2 is a strange game in the trilogy. In terms of the overall lore, there isn't much here. The game's focus is much more on individual characters than the wider lore, which I usually cover. Because I don't usually cover it, I'd love to hear your opinions. Let me know if you want to cover the individual characters on the whole series, or if I should stick just to the main lore. Thanks for watching.